Okay, hi, welcome. This is Motsi. It is my pleasure, and it is always my pleasure to have you around. Today, we are going to be exploring factorization of quadratic expressions, and of course, this is part three, and we'll specifically focus on difference of two squares. And these are the practice questions that we're going to use as we explore this piece of concept. A disclaimer: this is going to be just too general. It's not specific to any level, whether you're new to algebra, whether you're well seasoned, or you just want a refresher. You should all be accommodated. However, if there is something specific that you wish that I do address, please do let me know in the comment section. I'll do my best to address it. But if it is that urgent and you want it like right now, I do have a Preply account. I'll leave the link to my profile in the description box or in the comment section so that you can easily get in touch with me. Otherwise, let's get started. Let's go with the first question. That's x squared minus 100. One thing we can observe is definitely this is a quadratic expression because the power of x is 2 and that's a quadratic. However, it is a special quadratic in the sense that we have a square number and a square number that are subtracting each other. Hence the phrase difference of two squares. You have one, two square terms that are subtracting each other. And that's where the phrase come from. Before I show you the technique used to factorize an expression that looks like this, I'll first go ahead and show you the long method that we've been using even in the previous videos. Well, this is a shortened expression of x squared plus 0x minus 100. But the fact that we have a 0 here, we can just eliminate it because 0 is nothing. But you can observe this is the quadratic to the power of 2 to the power of 1 and of course to the power of 0 right there. So this would have been the long expression, but we compress it to just be this. So if we are factorizing something that looks like this, of course you can still use the technique that I've shown you where we multiply these two, then we get a negative 100x, and we look for the factors or for the unique pair of factors of negative 100x squared that add to 0x, and I can't think of any except negative 10 and positive 10x. These definitely do multiply to this, but at the same time they add to that. So I will, instead of writing this, I'll write this. I'll have x squared minus 10x plus 10x minus 100. I'll go ahead and group, and this means that the common there will be x into that, that's x into that, that's going to be negative 10. And of course, I have a plus there. What's common there is a 10, and 10 into 10x, that's going to be x, and negative mean positive 10 into negative 100 will leave me with negative 10. And you can see that this is the same. I can factorize and have x minus 10 out, and of course this will leave me with an x and this will leave me with a 10, and this will become my final answer. Now you observe with every expression that looks like this that anytime you try to factorize it, it will always lead you to something that looks like this. Therefore, I don't want you to go through the stress of having to find factors, first of all doing all that, and it's too long and unnecessary. What do I expect you to do? Anytime you see difference of two squares, I expect you to open two brackets. And when you've opened two brackets, find the square root of this, write it here, and write it there. Find the square root of this, write it there, and write it there. And put a plus and put a minus. No matter which one you start with, it's still fine. That's how you do difference of two squares. I'll repeat the steps. When you have difference of two squares, first thing, open two brackets. 1, 2. And when you're done, find the square root of this, which is x. You write it here and you write it there. Find the square root of this. You write it here and write it there. Put a plus and put a minus and underline the answer. Your teacher will be happy, I will be happy, and everyone will be happy. I hope this makes sense to you. Go ahead and give this one a try if you're confident, but if you're not, it's still okay. We'll try together. Okay, next question. We have 9x squared minus 25y squared. Similarly, this is difference of two squares. Y, this is a square number, and this is a square number. And definitely, we're going to use the technique that I've just showed you. So what are we going to do? We're going to open two brackets. And we're going to find the square root of this term. And of course, the square root of 9 is 3. And the square root of x is x. And it is 3x times 3x that gives me 9x squared. So I'll write it here and I'll write it here. I'll do the same for this one. So that will be 5y and 5y. I'll put a plus and I'll put a minus. I have completely done factorization of this difference of two square expression. Hopefully, you have been able to get the same thing if you had done it before me. If you're still confident, give the next one a try and pause the video so that you may compare your solutions to mine. But if not, let's try together. There we have a plus 3 squared minus b squared. Still one and the same thing, that's difference of two squares. Well, this is a square number and this is also a square number. So let's go ahead and open our two brackets. Please don't put any sign in between. Anytime we'll be factorizing, it doesn't matter what type of factorization we're doing, we never have a plus sign in between these terms, because factorization, it means you need two things that you're multiplying. So don't put a plus, don't put a minus. That's not factorization. Factorization is here, you should have two things that are multiplying each other. I've seen some of my students confused. Should I put a plus, should I put a minus? Anytime you factorize, if you see yourself putting a sign here that is not multiplication, you should know that that's a recipe for disaster. Otherwise, you have successfully opened your two brackets. What's the square root of this? Well, it's going to be a plus 3, because it is a plus 3 that you multiply by a plus 3 to get a plus 3 squared. You do write that a plus 3 right here again. And of course, when you're done, you're going to do the square root of that, which is b, and square root of that, which is also b. And you're going to put a plus, and you're going to put a minus sign, and boom, you are done. Just like that. You can give the next one a try by pausing the video so that you can compare your solutions to mine. Otherwise, let's give it a try together. That's x to the power of 4 minus y to the power of 4. Still difference of two squares. This is a square term and this is a square term. And what we're going to do is we are going to find the square root of that and the square root of that. But first things first, let's have our two brackets. What's the square root of that? Of course, This is x squared. By the way, when I say square root, I mean what is the factor of that term that multiplies itself twice to give us this. So square root of this means if I multiply this by itself, it gives me that. That's just the definition of a square root. Otherwise, this should be x squared and x squared. And notice when I multiply them, I get x to the power of 4. Similarly, square root of that, that's going to be y squared and y squared. I put a plus, I put a minus, and boom, I am done. Hopefully, you've been able to get it correct. Let's try the last one. Well, we have 9 over 16 t squared minus 4 over 25 p squared. And still your assignment is to factorize this expression. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, Japanese take it easy. What we're going to do is we're going to open two brackets, and when we open two brackets, we're going to find the square root of this. So obviously the square root of this is going to be 3 over 4, because 3 over 4 times 3 over 4 gives me 9 over 16. And for t, I'll have the t right there. I write this in here again, 3 over 4 t. And for this one, I should have 2 out of 5, because 2 out of 5 times 2 out of 5 gives me 4 out of 25. And of course, I'll have the p there. I write 2 over 5 p. I put a plus, I put a minus, and boom, I'm done. That's how I do difference of two squares. I think you should have benefited a lot from this video as well. And if you think there is a friend that might also benefit from the same content that you have just benefited from, please do share the video with them. And if you liked it that much, please smash that like button. And of course, if you think this community is giving you value, please smash that subscribe button. Otherwise, it's always a joy to be around you and to give you the content that I do give you. I'll see you in the next one.